And did they?
No, it didn't.
No.
It was all hearsay. But I felt sorry for Greenie. He got he got put out. There was Aussie who done the damage. And another time we were playing Leongatha, and I remember Rodney. You know how big Rodney was playing football. He was pretty small, and I think the bloke's name was Black from Leongatha. He's a nice bloke, but he used to follow it pretty keenly. And there was a clash. His young bloke was a bit bigger than Rod. And they hit. His son broke his arm. And I was coaching his under-16s then.
Yeah.
And he came up and criticised me for telling the boys to play like thugs. And Ronnie Wagner was there, and it looked like I was getting a bit heated. I said, "Leave him alone, Ronnie. He wanted to fight him, you know." And he had a heart attack the same day, that buck.
Yeah.
And he came up and apologised to me later on that year, you know.
Oh, okay.
Funniest moment, probably when I played in the father-son game.
Why was that?
And I played a lot of football myself and never got hurt. Ended up doing a medial ligament and playing for him. But it was good fun. Never got many kicks, but had a good time.
Yeah.
Most memorable game I saw was when we lost a final. We were probably, I wasn't coach, Matho was coach.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was under 16s, and had all the Vesties, the Ellisons, Rodney, and like we're, I reckon, probably 5 or 10 goal side, better than any side in the league. And it poured rain for about a week. And they played it on the Morwell football ground, and they were nearly going to. Do you remember that?
I was in there.
You were in that side.
I was in a full back.
Yeah. I nearly cried that day. That's the best side we had, I reckon. Don't you?
Yeah, it was a great team. We beat them. I think we beat them by about 16 goals 2 weeks before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and we lost by about 4 points and couldn't get the ball across the line.
That's right. Yeah. I always remember that game. That was my most. Yeah.
And your fondest memories of the club?
Oh, fondest memories of the club are just the friends I've made through it, you know. Like Jack and Oliver Robson have been great supporters of the club. Freddie Fryer, Matho, all good people. And you sort of stay friends forever after you've met all those sort of people. And the players I've met. People say to me now up the street, "Good day, Mr. Kerr," and I still can't pin a name to a lot of them.
Yeah, Philip started in 64.
Yeah, so 64.
64. He would have been what?
And you were still there, I reckon, about 1970,
Well, when did
thereabouts.
when did the Robsons
The
come?
Robsons came in about 69, 70.
Yeah, well, it was a couple of years after they were
Yeah,
there that I, because
that's right.
Pete was still,
Probably 64 to 72.
Yeah, that'd be near enough too, Alan,
Well,
that's
I
right.
can remember playing bowls
Yep.
around at the Morwell Club, and they started in 72, and I can remember tearing from the youth club around for bowls.
Yeah. Some
Roy
coaching.
Davidson, he had this under 17.
That's right.
When Malcolm was playing that year.
Yep.
And there was Dave Johnson.
Yeah, Dave, yeah.
Who else was there? We used to run all the dinners, so I used to look after the canteen, do the buying for that every week.
Yep.
But
were you
I
on
think
committee
at one
as well?
stage, I don't think we had a committee, did we?
I don't
Just
know.
all sort of get together,
Yeah.
I think. I used to wash the kids' jumpers.
Oh, okay.
Had the kids' jumpers I used to wash.
Yeah.
And do the oranges, half time.
Yeah, so jack of all trades.
Yeah. And we used to cart kids, we used to have a station wagon in those days. And we'd fill up the front and the back of the station wagon and go all over the place with the kids.
Yeah, we could do it in those days, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could do it, you can't do it now.
No, that's right.
They used to hop in, didn't they? No women's station wagon.
It was an
everywhere.
HR.
I can remember John Keast used to play.
Right.
Keat.
Yeah.
And he was a big bloke. He was bigger than any of the other kids that were in their under 13s. And he used to just stand there, and of course he only had to stand there, and he'd just put his arms up and he'd get a mark. And the whole thing was that every now and then someone would say, "Jump, John," so get him to jump up, because if he didn't jump, sometimes he'd miss it.
Yeah.
You know, and they'd say, "Jump, John," so he wouldn't jump, he'd just stay on the ground.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. Greg May was another.
Yeah,
one
Greg
of the
was
kids
there.
that played. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he was there. Cyril Weatherly and
Cyril
Dave
was a
John-
bit of a character,
and
wasn't he?
Dave Johnson was a character too
Yeah.
in his own way. They were good to the kids. They
Yes.
really were.
Yeah.
They sort of used to sort of.
They related well to the kids, didn't they?
Yeah, they were really good to the kids, and the kids loved them in their own way.
Yeah.
Well, the mums used to gather around, and there was Vemba Gossip, and there was Dot Meredith, and there was Val Giles, and myself, and occasionally there were a few others, but we were always usually the cars that used to be parked around the ovals, and we used to be there. And Auntie Madge, have you heard of Auntie Madge,
Yes.
Alexander? You've heard of Auntie Madge?
Yes.
Well, Auntie Madge used to make these sponge cakes, and they were huge. I've never seen the sponge. They were must have been about 12 inches in diameter. They were beautiful, filled with cream. And that was our afternoon tea. We used to have cups of tea and Auntie Madge's.
Sponge
This is
cake.
when we were away.
Yes.
When we were home, we'd have the canteen going, but when we were away, we used to
you could
stand
relax
around,
a bit more
and we used
watch
to
the
eat all
footy.
these sponge cakes. And of course, we used to call out to the kids and barrack like mad. Dot Meredith, you knew Dot Meredith.
Yeah.
Dot, poor old Dot. Anyway, we used to call out and barrack for the kids and this sort of thing. And one day Peter Kaplan came up to us and he's told us to behave. We should have more respect for the umpire. We used to yell out at the umpire. we got
That would
tipped
mainly
up
be
on
Dot,
Peter.
I'd reckon.
Yeah.
Probably, various age groups from because they changed their age groups different times. They went from under 15 to 16 to 17 to 18. So we had a difference between under 15s and under 18s. But I can particularly remember one game that we played in when Barry, not long after he'd gone down there, when the Reds and the Whites played a grand final. You've heard this one too.
No, I haven't heard this one.
The Reds and the Whites played in the grand final, and anyway, we were the enemy sort of thing. Even though we were both youth club, we were the enemy. We were on the outer.
That's right, the Whites.
Yeah.
Bob Meredith was the president, and Bob didn't like us. No. So we played him down at Crinigan Road.
That's right, 69.
69 was it? Right. So that was when it was. So anyway, we played him down there, and what I remember about Barry was he got a mark at centre half forward, and anyway, and the siren went at 3/4 time, and he went back for a shot at goal, and I was standing next to Glosso. Glosso probably won't remember this, but I was standing next to him, and Glosso said to me, "What's this kid think he's going to do?" And I said, "He's going to have a shot for goal, Stan, and he said, Anyway, Barry got back and he could kick torps, and he got onto this torp and he put it through.
He did too, yeah, I remember.
And Glosso turned to me and said, "Who was that kid?" And I said, "That's my bloke, Barry." "Oh, geez," he said, "I should have known then." He said, "I should have known he could kick a football, But that was my memory of Barry. And
So what
Brian Mutton. Geez, I'm not going too bad after all, because Barry told me last night, he said Jimmy O'Brien. Do you remember Jimmy?
Yes.
Now, Jimmy claims that he coached that side, and I said, "No, Barry." I said, "He didn't." Well, Jimmy sort of said to me, Jimmy said to Barry, "Yeah, well, I can remember it." He rattled off a few names, and I said, "No, Barry." I said, "Jimmy didn't." I said, "Murray keeps coming into my head."
Lived in Vincent Road near the kindergarten, opposite the
I wasn't
kindergarten.
sure where he lived, but
Brian
that
Murray.
was Brian Murray, that's right. And
You've been able to confirm that for us, yeah.
I
That's good.
confirm it for sure,
Yeah.
because
And Ivan, I've spoken to Ivan in the last 12 months.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
that's
I was
great.
at his house at the bottom of Kelly Street.
That's right, it
Hourigan
was.
Road.
Yeah, because once again, as you say, the Whites, we were on the outer, we had to make our own celebration and all that sort of stuff, yeah. Oh, gee, that was...
And how long-
got a meal afterwards, and it was just one happy family. So, Steve Suter was another one. All Steve wanted to do at practice, Steve just wanted to play practice games. Training, he didn't want to train, he didn't want to train, so, no, he just wanted to do practice games all the time, he loved that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
Well, the drama one is, and it's the most, what do I call it? The biggest disappointment I ever had was the year that we lost, I think it was under 15 grand final. We had the best team by far in the competition. We'd beaten St Kieran's 2 or 3 times during the year by 15 to 20 odd goals and all that sort of stuff, and they'd done us a favour by getting rid of Leon Gather in the preliminary final, and so we were going to meet them at Morwell in the grand final. But unfortunately, it started to rain on the Thursday. It rained all night Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It was still showery on Sunday. The ground was a quagmire and all that sort of stuff. And some of the fellas were crook with the flu and they shouldn't have played, but they did. And we lost by a couple of points. but rubbed salt into the wound. It was right near the finish when Rodney Kerr on the half forward flank took a mark, played on, went around the bloke, kicked a goal. The umpire made him come back and take his shot, and because the ball was so heavy, Curry didn't make the distance, and we failed by a couple of points. But that was most disappointing, not just for me, but because it was just such a fantastic club, and we really felt that we had a chance to show. I just wanted a chance to show how good a team we had, but we didn't get the chance to do that.
Was it pretty good?
Shane Collier's, if this is the one you're talking about, this is when Shane Collier was first made captain of Youth Club, and we were down there on the trotting track, and Shane was very, very proud and all that sort of stuff, and there was, the distance from the shed to the ground was a fair little sort of a trot, and then you had to go over this wire and all that sort of stuff to get on the greyhound track. And so Shane leads the boys out and all that sort of stuff, with his chest out and so forth. Didn't quite make it over the wire, tripped over, went plonk, and so everybody just sort of trampled over the top of him and kept on going, And his poor Shane gets up and wiping himself down and everything, the people connected with the club, if you start naming names, you're going to leave people out, so I won't do that. But they were just fantastic. I mean, presentation nights, for instance, that have teams there sitting down with a knife and fork tea and all that sort of stuff, with the women coming around and serving them and washing up and doing all that sort of stuff. And they were just the most fantastic group of people. There was never any arguments that I ever knew of. I mean, nobody. They may have said it, and so forth. Nobody ever questioned anything that I did, even though I know that everything I certainly did wasn't right. But I mean, it was never questioned and all that. But they were just fantastic people. And I say it was just like one big happy family.
It was through Carl and Robert Bestie?
Through Joan and the kids. I used to go, when they first started playing with the kids, half time I thought I'd better nip up to the hospital and see what's happening up there, because my daughter was in the hospital. Yep. And that was the day that Robert was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so going back then, they were football. And I used to take us once for our afternoon tea, and then the kids would be standing around, looking around. So I thought, make a sponge, so I used to make 4 to take for them.
4 sponges for the away games.
And I didn't want my son to hide them, so I used to hide them in the bedroom. And I'd put them in the boot of the car. I'd take me to the teapot, a few thermoses. Yep. Cups of teas. I think I tell you what I did for the kids. I knitted every one of the kids at football had with their initials on it.
Did you really? Yeah. Every player on the side?
Yeah. But their number and their initials on the cap.
That'd be marvellous to see. You have got old movies.
They were the best days of my life, because it was great to see the kids play.